In 2009, I married my Bible college sweetheart, Nathan, and everything was just peachy. We moved to Prince George, where I started a job in youth ministry. And everything was moving along beautifully until about September of 2014, when suddenly and unexpectedly Nathan passed away from what we later discovered was probably a genetic disorder called Marfan syndrome, which basically resulted in a tear in his aorta. And so as you can imagine, that really upturned my life. Everything was changed from that moment on. But through it all, God was incredibly faithful. And one of the ways He was especially faithful in the way that He cared and provided for me was through the community in Prince George at the time. Firstly, my church itself was incredibly kind and generous in allowing me space to grieve. There was also a number of ladies who opened up and shared their own experiences, not to mention the many friends that just made themselves available and invited me out to things, allowed me the space to grieve really well. And so I'm just really grateful for the way that God used that community to really impact the way that I was able to grieve. I think without that community support, I would have had a lot darker of a journey. A lot of people are afraid to walk alongside someone who is grieving. They're afraid maybe that they will remind us of our grief and make things worse, or that they'll say something stupid. But I think the important thing to remember is that for those of us that are grieving, we're in it all the time. So it's not like we've forgotten and that now you've reminded us. So any way that you can reach out, it makes a huge difference. And now, almost 5 years later, God has placed some people in my own community, several women who have recently lost people in their own lives, and I really believe that God has used my own tragedy to prepare me to speak into and journey with these women as they also grieve. And so if there's someone in your community that has recently lost someone, I encourage you to reach out. God could really use you to transform someone's grief journey in an incredible way.